Hello, my fellow YouTubers. How are you today? And today I'm going to talk about is Power Rangers Turbo the film? Is it a bad film? Is it really that terrible as people make it out to be? Well, let's see the premise of Power Rangers Turbo, the movie. For starters, it's the first Power Rangers Turbo related merchandise to be created. Like you could say it's its pilot. Second, it's the second Power Rangers film all in all. And third, we get new suits. Fourth, new swords, new villains, and there's a whole bunch of new stuff. Let's look at the premise. First, well, it's quite basic. The Power Rangers from Power Rangers Zero are entering a children's charity karate competition. But unfortunately, the Blue Zero Ranger, Rocky, gets injured with a leg injury and can no longer continue his work as a Power Ranger. And then later we found out that there's this space pirate known as Divatox who kidnaps an old wizard's family in order to unleash this kind of lava demon from the pits of hell or something, who oddly enough looks a lot like Dark Spectre, but that's mainly because of recycled costumes. It has happened before. Recycled costumes, Power Rangers SPDA Squad, and Forever Wear Beetleborgs, but and later she kidnaps Jason and Kimberly, the original Red Ranger and Gold Zero Ranger, and Kimberly, the Pink Mighty Morphin Ranger. They're kidnapped and are going to be used as sacrifices to unlock the evil demon from his rest, who Divatek surprisingly wants to marry, but he doesn't want to marry her either. And then we get to the Blue Ranger, Justin, the first child Power Ranger ever to exist. Yeah, I was a bit surprised like that, but as a child, I was always had a question if kids can become Power Rangers. This answer to that, they can. Apparently the suits have this kind of special morphing manipulation that can change your body into a adult size. And later we have sorry, I'm just thinking. And later we get a cool sword battle with the evil demon. Jason and Kimberly are saved. Jason takes Rocky's place as uh, as as a team member of the karate tournament. They win. Happy ending. Shabam. The wizard gets with his family again. It's all done. Now I've been looking at a lot of reviews for this, and a lot of people don't like this film. A lot of critics and Power Rangers fans. In fact, now that I think about it, people just didn't like this Turbo story, the Turbo team altogether. Since in Watch Mojo, some people said it's actually not their most favorite Power Ranger team. But let's look into the problems about this film. One, I think they why isn't this a Zero film? Like seriously, when Tommy and Catherine are rescuing the old wizard in Africa, Catherine temporarily morphs into the Pink Power Ranger, the Pink Zero Ranger, but it lasts for a bit before she demorphs, and she almost gets killed by water while Tommy goes Tarzan and saves her. Like I know that they probably used the Zero crystals to make the cars and the Zero and the Turbo morphers, but it just feels like when you look at Forever Red and we see Tommy and TJ using their separate Red Ranger morphers, the Red Zero Ranger morph and the Red Turbo morph, you kind of it kind of feels a bit strange that they didn't implement that they were so willing to change from Zero. I mean, I know it's merchandise that they're trying to support the Turbo team, but still, it just feels a bit wasted an opportunity to give Zero a better send off, since it still had a lot of potential to finish its story off. What other problem? Jason and Kimberly. I love both characters. I think they're great Power Rangers, but it just feels like, again, wasted potential. It's just Jason and Kimberly have both been Power Rangers. Kimberly being one Ranger, Jason being two Rangers, and it just feels like, well, what are you guys doing? I mean, you guys have battled putties, giant monsters, went to giant machines, went to alternative dimensions, and it just feels, where did you guys go wrong? I mean, I'm pretty sure you've went. I mean, didn't Zordon or someone give them some spare wristbands to call for help in case they were in a problem like this? Plus, in the comics, we find out Kimberly actually had her own Power Ranger crew for a while. She was the leader of her own Power Ranger team in the comics, and it feels like she's now a damsel in distress. It just feels like, what happened? Seriously, these guys were Power Rangers. And not just that, they were actually very, 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 very strong Power Rangers. Like they were physically fit, like they exercised, and it feels like couldn't they have taken down those like, couldn't taken down Divatox and taken over the ship? Like also, had anyone ever tried using the fake sick card? Like couldn't Jason, Kimberly, Bulk, and Skull just pretend that one of them was sick and just get the other one up to trick Divatox and take over the ship? Again, it feels like a bit of. It just feels like they've just somehow forgotten that they were Power Rangers. What other problems? I think my one more problem would have to be the wizard character, since I didn't really. He's kind of forgettable, and Zordon makes a thing that he's a big deal, like this power, but after the movie, we don't really see him much through Turbo, and when we come to his space, he's kind of completely disappeared. Doc Spectre or any of his forces don't focus on him and just focus on Aquator, the Phantom Rangers, and the Gold Seal Ranger. We don't actually see the dude again. And I guess another problem would be Rocky. I may not know why the actor. I may not know fully why the actor wasn't picked to continue as the Blue Turbo Ranger. But again, it feels like this is the last time we're gonna see Rocky as a Power Ranger. Rocky does have fans. He was a good Red Ranger. He was Jason's direct successor to being the Red Ranger. There has to be some reason why Zordon saw him honorable enough to make him the next Red Mighty Morphin Ranger. But still, again, it just feels like he was kind of just there for a cameo. He could have done so much more as the Blue Turbo Ranger. But then again, I don't know the full reasons why Saban didn't make him the Blue Turbo Ranger. But I get because again, a lot of these characters were going to leave after Turbo. Jason, Adam, Tanya, Kat, and Rocky, they were all going to leave after this season. And we were going to get to the new Turbo Rangers. But let's look at the good parts of the film. For starters, the suits. I really love the Power Ranger Turbo suits. They're very cool. I like the core themes. I like that they could do that cool and get their weapons out. They had cannons, swords, and all kind of range of things. The second thing I like was seeing evil Jason and Kimberly. We felt that, when we look at Jason, we found out that he actually had some problems with Tommy, since Jason admitted he had a bit of jealousy to Tommy after taking over his role as a leader. But then again, I don't know how true this is, because in Zero, Jason told Tommy that he was happy Tommy was a successor, and Tommy would often go to Jason for advice on leading the team. So again, I don't know, where did all that anger come from? But either way, I like that they were temporary evil, because they were just so scary. As a kid, I remember I was hiding underneath the bed, just looking at how evil Kimberly was with her eyes, and just how incredible Hulk Jason became. It was chilly. Also, I liked that Justin was the Blue Ranger. Now, probably some people hated the idea of a kid being a Power Ranger, but let me tell you the origins for Justin's character. Let's go back to Mighty Morphin with the famous White Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, Tommy's second Ranger incarnation, and one of the most famous ones with his cool tiger sword. Oh. We all loved the White Mighty Morphin Ranger. He was a badass. In fact, his first episode is considered one of the best Power Ranger episodes in all of the franchise. But you see, let's look at his Japanese counterparts in Super Sentai Dare Ranger, Kiba Ranger. You see, the Kiba Ranger, the white Mighty Morphin's counterpart in Japan, was actually a child. Again, I mean, Saba was this talking Japanese tiger sword who picked the young child and found him suitable to becoming a Super Sentai. There he became the White Kiba Ranger and the sixth Ranger of the Super Sentai Team Dari Ranger, and people loved it. I mean, he was a cool character. A kid as a Power Ranger in Japan worked. I mean, he had a cool white tiger sword, a cool talking sword. He was amazing. And that's why I like Justin, because, proves that anyone can be a Power Ranger. I mean, as a kid, I really did have a lot of respect for the character because of how showed that really anyone has potential to be a Power Ranger. No age isn't required, it's not a boundary. And he did have some cool scenes, like he was a fan and he was actually not really that scared. He knew the responsibilities of being a Power Ranger, like not telling anyone, and he was really ready to go into action. I thought he was a good Blue Ranger. I have to give him props. And he even got an episode in space when he teamed up with the Space Rangers. That was a good episode. Also, I did like the Megazord battle. I mean, what this film had one up made this film superior to the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger film was that they didn't use CG animation. They kept to the same style that they used in the episodes with the kind of blocky sword with the block suits. It was cool, and I did like the intros. I did like the villain, the demon monster. I thought he was cool, and they did recycle his costume for Doc Spectre. I mean, a monster made out of lava. That was scary. But listen, whether you hate the film, whether you like the film, let me just tell you something. It's Power Rangers. I mean, with respect, it's not going to be like a massive thing with acting like the new film's going to be, since they've made a lot of drug jokes and used swear words. But when it comes to acting, it's quite simpler since it's for kids. Only a few seasons like Time Force and Dino Thunder can really go all out with their acting and storylines since they go deeper. But most of the time, it's just really for kids, and they're trying to sell toys. That's why they implemented the new team and stuff. I mean, I think in an interview once with Austin St. John or one of the original cast, they said that they were paid the same amount as McDonald's. But so I mean, really, it's just really more for kids. And the story, even though it's simple and a bit basic, it is for kids really, and it's again Power Rangers. But just remember something: this is the last season to have some of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in it. I mean, and Tommy, Kat, Adam, Tanya, Rocky, Jason Kimberly, we're not going to see these characters again. I mean, we do see Tommy and Jason Forever Red and Adam in Once a Ranger, but still, this is going to be like one of their last things. And even though Tommy does come back for Dino Thunder, he does change in Dino Thunder a little bit, becoming more a teacher and having to look after a new range of kids. But so there's going to be some changes, and we're going to have to say goodbye to some heroes of our childhood. And at least Saban gave us a film to give them a send off. Since even though they were leaving, at least they got a film letting them have one more time to shine with new Rangers powers and cool suits. And that's why I personally like the film. So if you hate it, you don't hate it. Remember, it's Power Rangers, it's for kids. And even if you're a die-hard Power Ranger fan, remember, Power Rangers is a great TV show. It's touched a lot of people's hearts, no matter how old you are. Seeing people wearing multicolored suits, using giant metal swords, it's all cool. And I can't wait to see the next Power Rangers film that's coming in a few weeks. So, may the power protect you, and may you all have a good day.